Hello and welcome to the Learning Institute for Nonprofit Organizations Satellite Video Conference Series. Today's program is closed captioned. This is the very first program in this year's series. Our topic today, strategic planning, charting your course for success. I'm Joan Sabella, a distance education specialist with University of Wisconsin Extension, and I'll be your host today. Joining me in the studio is the Learning Institute's faculty member for this program, Frank Martinelli. Frank is the president of the Center for Public Skills Training in Milwaukee. Welcome, Frank.
Thanks, Joan.
So good to have you here.
Same here.
And a wonderful tie. It is. There are many, many stories about strategic planning, and not all of them are rosy. Can you tell us what's happening?
Sure. Like a lot of things, it's a mixed bag. For some organizations, it's like heaven. For others, it leaves something to be desired. There's a Dilbert cartoon. Have you heard of Dilbert?
Yes.
Okay. Well, picture this. It really says something about the experience of strategic planning, at least for some organizations. It begins with the boss, that guy with the pointy hair, greeting a new employee and saying, I'm putting you on the strategic planning committee. It's like work, but without the satisfaction of accomplishing anything. And she said, well, okay, fine. Another employee comes up and says, I'll tell you about strategic planning. We have a lot of meetings. We talk about mission and vision and vague emotional terms. We start to get excited. We start to actually think we might be able to make a difference. And then we snap out of it and decide that we're going to keep on doing what we've always done. And then we make some overheads of that to use in the office. Well, when the new employee hears the word overheads, she perks up. I love overheads. I'll make the overheads. And the other employee says, actually, we used the ones from last year.
Or last several years.
Or last several years. But I think you get the picture. If that's what strategic planning is like, and sometimes it is, it's not hard to understand why people would be pretty cynical and mistrustful of a process that takes so long but nothing happens. The approach that we're going to take today in this program is really different. We're going to be sharing tested and proven tools and techniques for effective strategic planning. We're going to be sharing real live examples of strategic planning in organizations where it has really worked. And we expect it to be a real productive program.
It's an absolutely critical kickoff to this series. It points us in the direction that we need to go.
Absolutely.
Yes, thanks for being here.
Okay.
This satellite video conference is just one part of an exciting distance education package. Please refer to page 2 in your participant guide for more information on the other learning components. See you in a few moments. It is now my pleasure to reintroduce our faculty member, Frank Martinelli. Frank, our learners worked diligently on learning activity number 1 just prior to this broadcast. Tell us more about that activity.
Prior to the start of the program, we asked each of you to discuss the following question. What are the external changes and trends that have had the greatest impact on nonprofit organizations in your community or region? This is a critical step in the strategic planning process that we will be talking about in more detail in about 15 minutes. So we'll be providing some closure to this activity at that time. Turn now to the learning outline on page 3 of your participant guide. There you'll find the learning objectives for today's program. There are 3. Number 1, to understand the relationship between planning and organizational effectiveness. Number 2, to learn the basic steps and major challenges in the planning process. Number 3, to acquire practical tools and techniques to create a strategic plan and prepare for the planning process. More and more nonprofits are doing strategic planning because they understand that it is a must in today's fast-changing environment. And they are seeing a number of important benefits, including determining a clear sense of direction and focus, improvements in service delivery, enhanced marketing efforts, increased volunteering, and effective fundraising. But if we are going to do strategic planning, we need to make sure that it's strategic. Gary Hamel, in his article Strategy is Revolution, shares the observation that many strategic plans are not strategic at all. They are, in fact, more focused on putting out brush fires instead of addressing critical emerging issues. Business as usual instead of real innovation.
What then is the difference between strategic planning and other kinds of planning?
There are a few things that distinguish strategic planning from planning which is merely long-range in nature and from operational planning typically done on an annual basis. There are two things in particular that make strategic planning truly strategic. The first is the attention that you pay to changes in the external environment, your markets, and stakeholders. The second is the focus on developing a sense of shared vision of the future and the way this shared vision drives the rest of the planning process. For those of you that want to learn more about the differences, take a look at the pre-program reading by the Nonprofit Alliance, What is Strategic Planning?
Frank, tell us more about shared vision.
Let me define it first of all. Strategic vision describes the future we intend to create together, the results that we will have achieved at some point in the future, and the characteristics the organization will need to possess in order to achieve those desired results. And a good vision statement has the following characteristics. First of all, it conveys a future direction for the organization. And it describes the expected results, how the community, how the world will have changed for the better as a result of our efforts. A good vision also describes, in a sense, the organization of our dreams. And it passes what some have called the goosebumps test. When people read it, when they talk about it, they really get excited. You can continue to learn more about the impact of shared vision by taking a look at the pre-reading by Doug Eady, Putting Vision to Powerful Use. In addition, you can find a list of sample vision statements and a worksheet for creating the strategic vision in the Strategic Planning Manual referenced at the bottom of page 2 of your participant packet.
To truly develop a shared vision within your organization, it's essential that you involve all stakeholders, including your board of directors, staff, volunteers, and your customers. We're going to show you what a shared vision has done for the two featured organizations in our program, the YWCA of Greater Milwaukee and Public Allies. You can learn more about our featured organizations on page 24 of your participant guide.
The vision for the YWCA is to become an economic change agent and to continue the work that we've done to rebuild neighborhoods, to create areas where you have families that are gaining economic self-sufficiency, that are turning around from the impact of poverty, where we're seeing housing rebuild, where we're seeing home ownership come back, and we're seeing companies come back to the Central City.
The most exciting thing is that there's a commitment to the elimination of racism, and I see that the work that the Y does really tries to impact that goal.
We've grown incredibly over the past 3 years, from probably about maybe 45 to 50 staff to 150 now, and we have many more programs as well. Had we not had a shared vision, I think we would have been more hesitant to go after new territory, so to speak, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Our vision is to gather together people of all backgrounds and beliefs and experiences and give them an opportunity to work together to improve their lives and the lives of those around them.
Probably the most satisfying part of the vision for me is I can go into any one of the Public Allies sites. I can talk to any ally involved in the program. And without any media prepping on their part, they will speak the vision. They will communicate the vision. And indeed, in their actions, they will demonstrate their ability to play a role in fulfilling that vision.
I think a lot of what's happened with the shared vision is that it's created synergies that we never anticipated coming about. It's much broader than the scope of what one person or a group of even a board of directors could have.
Did you catch the excitement that people had in telling us about their shared vision? We heard, first of all, that for vision to really have value, it needs to be truly shared throughout the organization. And to have a shared vision means a lot of people need to have been involved in its development. Shared vision also energizes everyone in the organization, and it builds real commitment. It also leads to unexpected discoveries and new opportunities. A real synergy begins to develop around a shared vision statement.
Frank, how do we get this vision?
Joan, what we're really talking about is planning as a journey. Imagine a sailboat at sea at the mercy of ever-changing conditions, ocean currents and winds. Now think of planning as a journey through sometimes rough waters to a destination that we have determined. Strategic planning is how we determine the destination and how we get there. The model that we are about to present consists of 7 steps in a logical progression. At the same time, it's important to note that strategic planning should be a creative and dynamic process that involves innovation, intuition,